Previously on the other dungeon. Eriku made a portrait of Karum while the Kefo tried to burgle a dwarven jewelry store. They ended up chopped to bits after a failed attempt to disguise herself, and Erog visited the Slime Boys before returning to Eriku and Karum at the market. And now, the other dungeon continues.
I'm gonna walk away and start praying. I feel so guilty now. What am I doing? Forget I'm a paladin.
So I take Kiram aside, and I'm like...
And Erog has now arrived as well, so...
I'm here, guys.
I tell Kiram... I pull Ego into the side as well. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna work my angle. You guys tell people that I do portraits.
I'm good.
And I can...
Whenever you finish...
I can paint...
You have that to show as well.
I can paint quick portraits for,
We need to move these drugs.
25 gold each. Hey, y'all get to go on your side quest.
I'm here now, so I can...
My side quest is the main quest.
She's getting a reputation. Positive.
We owe somebody 1,000 gold.
She's making gold.
She shops...
What? You lost gold on your quest.
The whole base.
My gold.
The whole base of this, my dad, to invest into her, right?
No.
So I'm gonna
You've already got the 1,000 gold investment. You just have to make a return on that investment and continue getting one.
I sense that my friends are quarreling and that our group is breaking down without me.
I do bring up, like, hey,
Tears in my
Kefo
eyes.
said that she was going to go rob a jewelry store.
I'm gonna
It's
fact
like right around the
that
corner. There's a lot of guards out there.
I turn around and grab the next person in the crowd.
So you C&B to grab them, or you perception just to look for somebody?
I rolled a 4. I got a 14.
And perception?
Yeah.
Alright, so I mean the crowd's starting to get a little thicker now, so there's a lot more people. A lot more people that are younger in age with adults, so people with children now.
You need to do the good cop, bad cop. It's the only way this works.
But I
It can't be bad cop, bad cop.
I
It's not
feel guilty.
gonna...
I'm just gonna try to get people to come to the
Just talk them up, yeah. Just try to
Tell them all,
don't lie, don't...
And 20 portraits for 25 gold, right?
Anything, I've been the most honest in my life.
Most of these folks seem pretty well off. They seem like high Easters, as you would call them, being from the South Dock. So like high Easters coming into town to do their shopping.
Are they rich people? No, that's
Yeah, definitely. The richest people in town, at least.
They robbed.
Smart peeps.
I pull them aside and I'm like, hey, I got this amazing painting. You should buy it for 3,000 gold.
Is that another intimidation?
It went bad.
How bad?
I got a 4.
She sort of scoffs at you and says to not bother her, or she'll alert the guards that you're pestering people that are coming by your booth. She'll have you shut down. Don't make her complain. She has the complaining lady haircut too.
Let me speak to your manager.
Yeah, she has the let me speak to your manager haircut. So
I walk away from her.
yeah, that's probably a good idea. She says, "Never speak to me or my son ever again."
I've already walked away.
Yeah.
Even back in my head.
Sorry, but didn't know.
My perception failed me. So I turn to Kim and I'm like, let's team up and try to peddle this painting. We're gonna shoot high, price-wise, at 3,000. We'll try to work this down. And regardless, we might get like a lot of money for it. You use your diplomacy and I'll use my intimidation.
You guys want to try to roll an appraise first?
See what it's worth?
Yeah.
Okay,
See if either one of you can properly evaluate the paintings.
I'll do that.
You're asking prices all over.
I have nothing in appraise.
Go for it, roll.
Yeah, you can always roll really high on accident.
A 10.
Alright, so you're not very sure. You've never graded R before, so your guesses are as good as anybody's. Karen, do you want to try while you're here? And Erog also, you can also try.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was like a right angle.
11? Okay.
Alright, so you're about the same as Eriku's knowledge on painting.
17. I know more about art than both.
Yeah, Erog, his family owns a bunch of art.
Nice.
Oh, did you?
Erog's parents have paid 3,000 gold for art before, and he knows a lot of times while your art is good, they don't usually buy art without a reputation. It has to have some sort of like story behind it, some notable artist. There's got to be a reason for people to pay that much money for the art. You might get, if like the highest price you could probably get for your art would be in the hundreds to 300 range, unless it's really, really good. Unless you have a reputation as an artist, and this is like your first thing you've done really. That's
You should
got any
talk.
exposure outside of South Donks.
Should.
Yeah, you need to make a name for yourself.
We send, if she can get people to sit down for portraits, then you can talk to them and be like, hey, you like to have a good time? You want to meet my friend like Joe Pesci? I was thinking some
You
drug stuff in there.
hustle the drugs.
There's no reason
Yeah.
I can't talk to I can't talk to people. I
There's
can
no
meet people I can
portrait. You're like, you need some Joe Pesci.
talk to.
Arog's the guy you send to like run and get the stuff and come back with it. He's not the guy you have talk to your customers.
Repeatedly, I've been proven multiple times.
He's suggesting someone else should be the person offering people drugs.
So me and Kim are going to do this plan. I'm just going to grab one more person from the crowd before we start, though, just for the hell of it, because I'm going to rage and I don't give up.
Alright, you just want to perception someone first?
I got a 18.
Alright, there's a dwarf in the crowd. Seems pretty wealthy. Is very well dressed, wearing a lot of fine jewelry.
I tell him to buy my paintings.
Intimidation check.
7.
Yeah, he's more into sculpture.
I tell him I can do sculpture, and I tell him to commission me.
Intimidate or diplomacy, which whatever you're doing.
I'm going to try diplomacy out. I got a 10.
He doesn't see any reason to invest money. He sees no evidence of your work as a sculptor. He's not sure that someone with one arm could be that good of a sculptor, so...
I tell him that's offensive.
Yeah, prove him wrong, he says, and then get back to him.
And I put him in a headlock.
Alright, roll C and B to put him in a headlock.
Cool, because I got a way over 20.
Yeah.
How much over 20?
Roll a 19.
25.
Alright, you got him in a headlock. He's short. You got him with your one arm around his head.
Buy my painting.
Alright, intimidate him again.
I got a 19.
He'll laugh and say, if you let me go, I'll buy one of your paintings. And like I said, if you could come back with a good sculpture, maybe we'll talk about commissioning. I like your spunk.
Hey.
How about 150 for that one there, of the nude man?
Yeah.
The nude elf picture, I really like that one.
I tell him okay, and I give him the painting for 150.
You've now officially sold your first painting on the Northland Market.
Still in a headlock because
Like a French girl.
I just take the money out of his hand with my mouth, and I put him down, but we're at like level now, and now my free arm, I take the money out of my mouth and I kind of place it between my bosoms. And I put my arm around him and I'm like, make sure you tell everyone what a good painter I am. You seem like a man with a really good reputation.
Alright, diplomacy.
I got a 10.
Alright.
That's fine.
Not the best come on you that he's ever had, I'm sure. Well, he doesn't seem displeased. It was definitely at least an average come on. He'll thank you for your painting and say he's got business to go attend to, so.
Can I tell him to come back later today for an example of my sculpture work?
He says, yeah, if you got something ready by the end of the day, he'll come by your booth again. He has to head this way to get back to his home, so.
So I run to the booth and I tell Kiram to start using their diplomacy to tell people I'll do paintings or whatever. And then I start sculpting out of the dirt and leaves and bones I find because I'm a barbarian.
Alright, so that's gonna take.
I'm pretty sure I have one of Sleeve's fingers. I add that to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a survival check to get all that stuff probably. Are you getting it from like here in the streets of Northland, or are you going out to the Donks Forest to get it, or?
I'm just grabbing things. It's found art. I got 18. I found some bombs.
Alright, so if you're not gonna leave this Northland shopping district, there's not much except a lot of dry dirt and stone.
Yeah, I want to do that kind of sculpture.
So you collect some of the dry dirt, or you want to steal some like stones out of the streets, or?
Yeah, and I got blood paint, so I'm just gonna like plaster it all together.
That was Eric.
Alright, you can make like blood mud mixture and try to make some blood mud clay.
The finger's gonna be in there too, because I have Sleeve's fingers.
Alright, so you make some blood mud clay, and you add in Sleeve's finger, and that's what you're doing for most of the day while your representatives are trying to sell your art.
I'm just like doing that in the
Alright.
booth, just like,
So you don't have that craft, but you can still try it. So that means you have to roll a craft without any ranks added to it. So you just add whatever the modifier for that is, normally wisdom, I believe, or something.
I got 8.
That's a pretty crappy sculpture, and it's not staying solid. There's like a finger in there.
Can I keep working on it while Cameron tries to diplomacy people?
Yeah, but that's going to be 8 hours of work there for you to make this really bad sculpture, though. This is the majority of the day. You trying to like make this sculpture work, and that's about how pleasing it is by the end of the day as an 8. So during that 8 hours, Karam's doing all the hustling with Arog, if he wants to help.
Just have no idea what to do. I am going to try to get out there and convince people to go over to our little art booth. The 25 gold portraits that we're doing. I feel like that's a little high, but I will start it. I'll start it.
And then see if you can talk. There'll be a special deal just for you, two for 50.
Exactly. Yeah, you and your lady friend. I'm gonna.
So you're gonna leave Karam's gonna stay by the booth, and you're gonna be like in the crowd, getting people to come to the booth.
I want Karen to use their high diplomacy to
Try to
draw
grab
people
people
in.
that are going by and offset that way.
You have high intimidation. You can intimidate
Play an
people.
instrument?
No, I mean I
You
can
can
try.
dance the
What is your plus to intimidation?
Like 7.
So you need to be intimidating people to come to my booth. And then Karen will draw them.
Yeah.
I'll try first. I'll
Hannah
try
fires
diplomacy.
angrily.
If diplomacy fails, you fall back on intimidation. It's a different methodology. I like it. All right, so you go out and work the crowd. Roll me your diplomacy.
Yeah, diplomacy. Here we go. Told you, terrible. 4.
The people seem to be walking right past you. Half orcs don't seem to get much respect here, so you're getting kind of scoffed at by the elves and humans that kind of come by.
Shady on the side of the road, like a drug dealer, and people come to you.
I'm gonna hang out here in alley.
Yeah.
Maybe a knowledge local for a good alley to go hang out in.
I don't have any drugs on me. I
Yeah.
got this gold
You
line.
like go see the art booth.
Yeah. I'm hanging out by the alley. I'm gonna just try to look real seedy.
All right, roll me a knowledge local to find a good seedy alley.
Fuck! 4. Just gonna wander around town.
Yeah, you can find an alley, but you're not sure how seedy it is. You're not from this part of town. You're from the high east.
Yeah.
But you'll try to like find a cool alley to hang out in, and like lean up against some stuff and try to look tough and like you're a drug dealer.
Wall, picking my teeth.
You'll notice that Arog's wandered off after trying to get customers to come to you for a while.
Alright, I'm going to look for someone who is well off.
All right, roll a perception check.
11.
So as far as you can tell, everyone seems to be the same class. They don't seem any like higher class than you are at this point in the day. But it's people kind of the same income bracket as you.
I'm going to approach the nearest person.
All right, you may.
Say, excuse me, may I have a few moments of your time to talk to you about this wonderful art over here?
Diplomacy check to see if you can get a few moments of their time.
16.
They seem to be in a hurry, but they stop to talk to you for a moment.
Alright, cool.
Is that the artist playing the dirt over there?
Yeah, she's
Outside
trying. Yeah, she's trying out sculpting, but she's really proficient in painting, and she also does portraits. If you're interested, that she starts at a good price, about 50. But she's also selling these paintings. She sold a painting recently of myself. They liked it so much. She does really well. You should give her a try.
Diplomacy, art agent, Karen.
Oh, 9.
Yeah, I mean it's this okay, I guess, but why is it's all red? It's just too red for me.
Oh, okay. Have other colors? I don't care. Do you have other colors, or it's just red? You paint blood, dude. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
All right, so Karen runs over to Eriku and checks to see if Eriku has any other colors. Confirms Eriku has no other colors. Returns to the customers and says,
Well, this is she makes red work really well. I mean,
she's going through a red
I
period.
like so much. We could maybe if I can talk to her, she can go down a little bit in her price. It's all she has at the moment, and she's trying to be able to afford to buy new colors. You know what I mean?
Right, that's a diplomacy for a pity diplomacy.
Mine again.
They seem unsure. They've never heard of her work. Kind of in a hurry. They'll say they'll come back by later today on their way home from work, and maybe grab something then if they see you. Who hasn't heard that one before?
Right, exactly.
You can interact with. You can sculpt in a rage if you like. You can rage sculpt.
Try to appear really strong.
Yeah, you're intensely sculpting.
Terms talking to these people to impress them.
Yeah, you're all red and sweaty, and your one arm is bulging.
I feel like if you get a portrait later or whatever, she might be too tired to do it, and will not regret it. I promise you.
If she doesn't do portraits at the closing part of the day, that's like a midday thing only, right?
Yeah, she won't take up much of your time. I promise. As that much to try not to.
All right, diplomacy.
Oh, 5.
She rolled a natural 1.
yeah, we'll definitely be back later. And they sort of like walk off.
If it's midday, I've definitely been sliced up.
Meanwhile, back at the jewelry shop, the owners are freaking out as their pile of wood is transformed into a pile of bloody flesh.
Yeah.
They're panicked. Lying amongst the heaps of flesh, though, is a strange rock, which one of the owners will see and squint and curse under their breath and tell the other owner to grab an oven mitt.
Damn it.
He does, and he picks up the strange rock, examines it closely. Arcana checks it and sort of like gives it a mean look and says, "What do you think we should do with this?" The guy says, "I don't know, sell it?" He says, "Okay." So he gets the grinder out, and now your soul in the rock form is feeling the grinding of this grinder as you're being shaped into a faceted crystal, though. You're being shaped into a faceted crystal now instead of a raw rock. So you come out now a many-faceted gem, and they put you on display in the front window that is reopened for business for the rest of the day.
Cool.
None of us must have really intimate with what your rock looked like.
The guy was not touching her while he was crafting her.
No, he's wearing a
No,
mitt.
please admit. No one touched me. Can I try to communicate with like some, if there's any like rats or anything around? Or
You would have to be able to speak Sylvan, and you can't speak out loud right now. You can speak Terran, but that's only works with other rocks. So that's only if you speak Terran.
oh, what? I thought I had spell abilities. Hold on.
Only with Tiki Taka.
Oh, well, can
You
I?
can contact Tiki Taka. He's close enough.
Yeah,
He's within range
yeah.
for that.
I would love to contact Tiki Taka and be like, hey, I'm writing this out right now, but I'm in a window. Come near me, please.
All right, so Tiki Taka's gonna start looking for you. Roll me a survival check for Tiki Taka to start looking for you.
17.
All right, Tiki Taki's able to track down the part of town, and he's now like hanging out in front of this store. Can't get in because you have to ring a bell to get entrance inside and all that stuff. But he's definitely like hanging out in front of the store, like walking around in circles. He knows you're nearby. He senses your presence. But can't get in the store.
I would like to tell him to go to Eriku until I
All right, so you tell your hog to head towards the market. So this is towards the end of the day now. Eriku's finishing up this sculpture. You guys have done what business you were able to do. Arrow's been hanging out in the alleyway all day.
Nothing?
Do you want? We can try for something to happen in the alleyway. You want to try maybe a diplomacy check to rope somebody in to try and sell them something, or?
Definitely diplomacy first. Fucking 5.
Yeah. You have trouble overall getting people to talk to you. You think you're in the wrong alleyway. It smells like trash. No one really wants to look at you.
It had more character than had less character than I thought.
Yeah. So the day is wrapping up, and you guys sort of meet back up at the booth. Eriku presents this very mediocre statue that she knows needs more work, but this is her first sculpture. Got a finger in it. It's not quite hardened. Looks like it'll probably dry and then fall apart again. Like as soon as it dries, it's just gonna fall apart. So like probably only her sweat's holding it together right now.
I am going to put that sculpture in my backpack to work on more later. And I'm also going to try to grab one more person and just try to intimidate them into buying my painting.
All right. So as the market's slowing down, you try to grab a late night customer as the sun goes down.
I got an 11 perception, so.
All right. So at this point in time, it seems like a lot of people are getting off of work, so you're having trouble telling people apart from each other. At this point in the day, they all seem to be people of similar class. Still higher class. They're not South Donks people, that's for sure. They have more money than you probably have. But no one stands out as very rich or anything.
None of them is that dwarf I flirted with earlier, right?
I rolled that the dwarf that was interested in seeing your sculpture does swing back by really quickly. Do you have anything to show him?
I do show him my sculpture, but I try to talk it up really well, and I like flirt with him.
Alright, diplomacy to flirt.
I figure if I flirt with him, he might think it's more than mediocre. Okay, well I got a 13.
So he shows promise. He says maybe work on having better materials next time. Maybe take a sculpture class. Seems like you've got the drive and the raw talent. You just need some some training. So he says but it's a good effort.
So I pull the finger out of the sculpture, and I hold it between my teeth, and I just like throw it. I use throw anything to throw the sculpture at the dwarf.
Oh god.
Alright, so you're gonna throw the mud at the dwarf.
Yeah.
Roll me a BAB plus Dex to hit him.
Even if I don't hit him, it's still a point. I think. That's 16.
Alright, so you just barely miss him.
No, it's okay. I made a point. Then I walk away.
You did throw mud at him. He ducked and it just like I said, just barely missed. So and then you walk away,
It's gonna be short.
frustrated back to you. Oh, got him. And you rejoin your allies back at the booth. You're ready to close up for the day, all very tired and frustrated. Although you guys did make a little money today.
Yes, I did. Do I see the boar yet? Is he kind of door comes to me?
The boar is arriving now, and it seems pretty distraught. It's squealing in its boar language if any of you speak Sylvan.
I don't, but I follow the boar anyway because he's my best friend.
Alright, so you guys all see the boar in distress. Eriku seems to want to follow the boar wherever it's leading. Do you guys follow Eriku?
I'll go. It doesn't seem crazy that we'd follow this boar again. So.
Yeah, you've done it before. The only difference is now it's not talking, it's just squealing.
I do want to side note and say I cleaned up my shop and upkept it like nicely before we left.
Yeah.
You packed all your things back in your backpack so nothing gets stolen overnight.
Yeah.
That stuff, yeah.
And I just follow my boar friend because I know he's trying to tell me something really important.
So you follow the hog to the western part of town, near Karam's home. It leads you to a jewelry store.
I try to go in the jewelry store and I try to let the boar in with me.
Alright, there's a buzzer on the door.
I buzz it.
Alright, it says serious inquiries only underneath the door, so a dwarf approaches the door and asks what you want.
I tell him I want jewelry.
Alright.
I got money. because I made money in the market today.
All right, they're fixing to close, but since you're a fellow salesperson, they say, show the money, how much you got to spend.
I only have what I made today on me, so I just want to see what you have. But I have, so I can go back home and come back later. I just want to take a quick look.
Look through the window. We're closing up. Unless you're here to spend money today, we don't have time to let you in.
I'm like, is that how you're going to treat a fellow salesperson? I thought we were doing business.
It says, we thought you were spending money. If you're not spending money, then we're not doing business, are we?
I said I did have money.
Well, how much are you looking to spend?
How are you going to judge my money when I can't judge your wares?
Oh, yeah.
You can judge them through the window.
Dirty ass window.
You're welcome to clean it. Maybe then you can afford something in it.
Yeah.
As a group, you do not recognize the crystal in the window as the Bakefo crystal. Unless you guys want to flash some coin.
I told them
They're closing up.
Flash my coins.
Alright, how many coins are you flashing?
All of them, just real quick.
How many coins is that?
I flash them discreetly so it looks like I have a bunch.
Do you want to try, like, sleight of hand or bluff? To make your coin purse look fatter than it is?
Aw, I have 4.
You have trouble making it look more than like 150 gold.
Okay, well, is that enough for me to get in your shop?
Can I ask
They suggest you try the pawn shop. They might have jewelry more your profit range, more your price bracket there.
I have a question. Like, are we in the street? Like, is there a lot of people around us? Can I just like barge into this jewelry store?
Hold on.
I mean, the door is closed and locked. They're kind of speaking to you through the door, through like a peephole.
How strong do I have to be to break down a door?
Can I go far enough away before this happens to not be associated with it?
You sense Eriku getting raged out in front of you again. You're like, oh, it's just about to rage out. You want to walk away.
Try to talk her out of this because we can do this smarter. Maybe.
I'm not smart.
I know you're not, but I'm just saying. Let's see how the dice lay out.
I would like to tell Tiki Talk like to shove in Erica and my friends away.
True. Okay, fine.
please let us have a gander as the combined group we have on the third thing. Yeah.
I've had a really long day. I've got a bunch of blood to clean up on my store floor. I really don't feel like dealing with it unless you guys have a little more money to spend.
Let's be honest, I'm praying for you.
I see Eriku getting ready to rage, and I tell Tiki Taka to just go chill on the other side of the street for a while.
Alright, Tiki Taka walks away from the jewelry store.
Hey guys, I think Laura's walking away now. Stop freaking out.
Okay, so I go into a barbarian range and I bust down this door.
Alright, roll an attack on the door.
I break down the door with a 19.
Ooh, snap.
19 will hit the door, so roll your damage, see how much damage you do to the door.
I get a 9.
Alright, 9 damage to the door. So you do some damage to the door, but you don't break it yet. Roll a perception check.
I got a 10.
Alright, you hear a noise coming in from the inside, but you can't distinguish what it is.
Cool. I bust down the door again. I'm gonna get shot in the face again.
Alright, roll another attack on the door.
11.
Alright, this time you hit the door, but you don't damage it any.
Yeah, this door's strong.
And Strong's back, baby.
So I take out my red paint of blood and I paint a really offensive symbol on the door.
And what languages are you proficient in that you want to do this in?
Common.
What slur, what profanity, what do you put on this building, what symbol?
So it is a slime boy symbol, and it's like a very
Classic slime boy is very offensive. There's probably some
really offensive.
very gross
It's
words.
not direct, it's just like a symbol.
Yeah, it's more like a fart sound. You know it's referencing a fart when you look at it. Yeah. So yeah, you do something very crude in the slime boy style in blood paint on the side of this jewelry store with the owner of the store watching and cursing at you from inside.
Yeah, I give him the finger, and I noon him. I feel like that happens at some point.
I keep rolling low enough that the guards, I'm also rolling low tonight, so the guards keep not coming over while
Yeah,
this
so
stuff's
I
happening.
leave at this point undetected by guards.
We're all leaving.
Alright, then Eric's like, we should get out of here, and he gathers everyone up. Alright, he interrupts you and takes you guys where, back to Karam's?
I left on my own accord.
Alright, Tiki Taka, do you follow back to Karam's, or do you hang out across the street from the jewelry store?
Yeah, I'm hanging out with a boar, wondering why the boar's just sitting there across the street.
Alright, so Karam remain behind with the boar until the boar's ready to leave.
The board is ready to leave.
Alright, the boar will follow back to Karam's house now, but it keeps looking over its shoulder back at the jewelry shop like it knows something you don't know.
There's something up.
Can I see if I pick up on this?
Yeah, sure, the perception check, you'll spot it, but I know Karam does because Karam went back to check on the boar.
I got 15. Do I notice?
You can spot it. You see the boar looking over its shoulder at the jewelry shop as well. You guys know something's going on. You haven't seen Bakefo all day, and it's not like Bakefo. Did not come around.
Rescue with the help of the slime boys to cause a ruckus.
You've already marked the territory now with the Slime Boy symbol, so you've already marked it.
I'm
Just going down the river of fate right now.
Yeah, that's D&D. You gotta ride the waves. You gotta ride the waves sometimes, you know?
I have a question. At this point, because I know something's up, is there any way I can get in touch with my slime boy peeps to break into these people's house at night and kill them?
That'd be knowledge local.
I got 12.
Alright, so I think with that you would know the Slime Boys aren't very active in this part of town. It'd be hard to get a message to them without going all the way back to the South Docks.
Can we send Alfred?
You can send Alfred with a horse and cart if you want to. It's kind of works for your family. You can get away with it if that's what you want to go back to the house first and send Alfred with a cart and tell him what to do. But then you have to know that he'll be privy to whatever happens then.
Oh man.
Yeah, tell Alfred to go get me like some slime boy like dummies to toss around. Because we're best friends now, Karen.
What if they bully Alfred? How are we gonna protect Alfred?
Yeah,
He's my childhood friend.
I think we might need a personal appearance there other than Alfred.
They might kill him immediately.
Yeah, he's a butler.
I write the slime boy's symbol of like knowledge and trust on a piece of my shitty paper.
You draw a booger.
And I hand it to Alfred. In that note, it has everything my slime boy brothers need to know to come help me.
Alright, so you tell them where Karam's house is located, that this guy's cool, just hop in the cart and ride along.
Yeah, we're gonna make it. Then come on away, we're gonna
The cart's probably large enough to bring back 5 or 6 people with Alfred, if they come along.
Cool.
Is that enough, or do you want them to do multiple trips, or?
No, 6 is enough.
Alright.
Yeah.
You tell him where to go with this note, and just tell him to go knock on the door, present this note, and see who comes with him.
Yes, I give him a hug and tell him to be well. And Amadei will watch over him on his journey.
Alfred rides down to the South Docks. When he gets there, he approaches the doors of the apartment, presents the note, is laughed at by the Slime Boys who think this is some sort of prank. They think they're being punked, and they don't believe him. And so then he rides back. So you guys have a couple hours to kill while he's gone. So what are you guys doing? It's now evening. You're waiting for Alfred to return.
I leave Karam's house.
Where do you go?
Back to the jewelry store.
Alright, so
It's at night, right?
you have an unsettling feeling about the jewelry store and you want to go back out. Does Tiki Taki follow you, or does Karam or Arog?
Taka does follow. Yeah. I'll follow her as well.
Back to the jewelry store? No. Not full frontal attack like that.
I'm going back to the jewelry store.
Arog hides out in Karam's room and hope that no one questions the fact that he's there without her when she leaves. As long as you don't leave the room and no one spots you. Alfred's gone, so...
We're BFFs, damn.
I mean, if there are 3 of us, we might stand a chance. There's not enough time to get any slime boys involved, which was what I was hoping to do.
We tried.
I thought we might be able to do that. Like
They're on the way. It's just going to take a couple hours.
You guys don't have to go with me. I'm going with the boy.
Okay, wait.
Your plan is to break the
How many
fucking...
people's coming back? How many
No one.
No
They
one.
laughed at us.
They laughed at
They
us.
laughed.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Bakefo's alone inside a rock again, which is a lot like being surrounded by darkness because you can't see anything. You can feel vibrations of things around you.
It's by God.
Can I hear?
You can feel vibrations, so you can sort of hear, but it's like very muffled. So it's almost like Charlie Brown's parents. So sometimes words sounds like womp womp womp, but you can, if with a perception check, you can sometimes make them out. It just takes a perception check.
I would like to perception check to hear anything from these 4 people that Sean went. I got 18 plus 5.
Your perception with that will indicate that after they closed the store, they went back underground. So you can't make out the words, but you do hear vibrations underground.
Okay, can I use my geography roll with my vibration skill to like sonar map?
It'd be better dungeoneering, probably.
Is there?
Geography would tell you, like, it's kind of like very broad. Dungeoneering would probably give you better information about where they are underground, that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. I was waiting on that information.
You know that they're down there, and you kind of feel them, and you kind of sort of feel the people moving around outside in the street, although the street traffic slowed down a whole lot.
And I know where Tiki Taka is.
Yeah, you have a connection with Tiki Taka, so you know that Tiki Taka's walking this way.
Alright, yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm just being a rock.
Alright, so Tiki Taka approaches with Iraku and Karam, but not...
Okay, all I know is you are barbarian rage. And I'm like, I'm doing some stuff.
Also,
I leave with the board.
Karam's just such a good friend that she just, like, was willing to, like, give up her whole, like, religion, like, everything for you guys.
everyone's okay.
Turns out the true religion was the friends we made along the way.
I tell Tiki Taka to try and communicate to everyone that I'm totally chilling in dual form of myself right now. So
At this point, it's not about anything.
Eric's going by himself.
And this pig's just gonna squeal and no one speaks Sylvan, so it doesn't really matter. So the pig like tries to communicate with you guys, but
I crack my knuckles and said, "Hey,
with
Dad."
one hand.
That's totally fine.
You storm out of the house. I think everyone kind of knows what's going on. You miss
I'm
Bekefo.
running.
Alright, you run to the jewelry store. The hog tries to keep up.
I like at this point, they're closed. They're asleep, right?
They're not asleep yet, but they are closed. It's not late enough at night for everyone to be asleep, but it's nighttime and the store itself is closed.
So I wait quietly outside in the darkness until they go to sleep.
I mean, you have no way of knowing that because you can't see inside. But if you just want to lurk around in the store till it's like really late at night and just
I
like walk
feel
around in
that.
circles. I mean, I rolled low enough that the guards, for some reason, are not noticing the fact that you're just like hanging out around the store until it gets really late at night. So you hang out around the store until you feel like it's very late at night. So meanwhile, several hours have passed for everyone back at the house. So during the several hours that you just like wandered around the store, did you guys do anything back at the house while Eriku is walking around in circles?
I'm just hanging out and thinking of my next move. I don't really know what it is, but I'm
Karam's father comes home exhausted from a long day at work. We'll see you guys. We'll make sure that Karam leaves the door closed. Because he doesn't want to hear what's going on in there.
Nothing's happening.
I'm going to go into the kitchen and look around for stuff to make paint for Erica.
Yeah, you can do that with like onion peels and some other like fruits and veg. You can make some natural dyes and things like that. If you want to steal some of your parents' food to make dye out of.
Yes.
You want to spend the next couple of hours just like in the kitchen, like boiling things down?
Yeah.
Alright, so the next couple of hours you're in the kitchen just like wasting your parents' food ingredients to make dyes for Eriku's paintings.
We got the money.
Yeah, they do. For
And I
now.
asked Karen's dad if he had heard anything about the, I think it was bodyguard job, that he talked about the other day.
Roll me diplomacy.
Or,
Yeah, he's just got this loan, and he probably thinks you should focus on that first. And if that goes well, he's connected to a lot of people that could probably pay you a lot of money. If you take good care of his son, then he'll know that you can be good to protect his other clients as well. So just if you keep Karen out of trouble for a month, then we'll talk.
shop can't be full time.
As long as Karen stays out of trouble, he doesn't have to defend his own son in court.
I pose to you. And like a look that means that I'm gonna take what he says seriously.
You know, Karen doesn't have a lot of friends, so high hopes for you. Karen makes some dyes. Eriku, after sulking around the store for a couple of hours, you try to go inside. What do you do? It's late at night now.
I grab a rock and break the window.
Alright, roll me a strength check to steal a rock from the cobblestone street.
I rolled a natural 1.
You're going to be approached by 5 guards who see you yanking stones out of the street and say, "We got him! The person who's been yanking rocks out of the street!"
How many guards is there?
5. They're surrounding you now and say, "That's a finable offense. Don't you know that's dangerous? What if someone trips?"
I tell them I didn't know.
Well, still, it's going to cost you, or you're going to lock you up.
How much is it going to cost me?
40 gold.
I give them 40 gold to go away.
Alright, no, you give us 40 gold and you go away. Move along. It'll cost you more gold if you want us to go away.
I act like I'm leaving. I go around the back of the building.
Alright, so you roll me a stealth check to try to sneak around after you pay them off.
We're at 19.
I rolled low enough they don't see you walk around in a circle, so you come back around to the front of the building after they've gone.
Tiki Taka is just sitting on the other side of the street.
I'm gonna break the window with my own large strength.
Just want to punch it with your one hand?
Yeah.
Alright, roll it.
I got a 10.
Alright, you hit the bars of the window and aren't able to bend them or break the window.
Try again. Oh my god, I got a natural 1. Fuck!
Which means you hurt your hand on the bars. You take 1d6 damage plus your own strength on your own hand.
5.
So you take that much damage.
That's cool. I still try to punch the window again.
I'm
Alright.
like, Tiki Taka!
With your now swollen hand, you swing again.
Take her home, Tiki Taka!
Tiki Taka starts coming at you and like pulling at your arm or your pants leg.
I got 11.
Alright, yeah, you still hit the bars, not the window. Your hand hurts. The pig's like yanking at your drawers.
I'm trying to grab another rock.
Yeah, of course, roll a strength check to get another rock out of the street.
The things I have in my head.
I can't grab another rock? That's cool.
Yeah, you can, of course. I mean, it's not legal, but you can still do it.
Okay, so I got a natural 20 when looking for a rock.
Alright, yeah, you yank a rock straight out of the ground.
I'm gonna break shit out of this window and grab all the jewelry in the window I can.
I mean, there's no jewelry in the window, but you can smash the window if you like.
No, I didn't smash the jewelry window?
I mean, they put all that stuff away at night. When they close up, they put everything away.
Okay, so I rolled a 19 at smashing the window.
Alright, so roll your damage.
9.
Alright, so you bash the bars with this rock. You bend the bars, so you now have a space large enough that you can hit the window next time.
Got 11.
So you hit the window, but it doesn't crack yet. So the rock hits it, but it just doesn't break. Roll a perception check.
Got 20.
Alright, you hear the footsteps of 2 guards approaching.
Can I dunk out the way, like hide?
With a stealth check.
I got a 10.
I got a 21, so they spot you. They see you hiding next to the store and ask what you're doing here.
I heard like someone trying to break in, so I ran over to see what was happening. Like I tried to stop them and I hurt my hand.
That's very interesting. This place got robbed, someone tried to rob this place last night as well. Maybe
It
you'd like
must have been the
to,
same person.
maybe you'd like to come with us and give a statement.
I asked them how much it would cost for me not to have to go with them.
40 gold.
Okay, cool. I give them 40 gold.
They ask you to move along.
Cool. I move along.
Where do you move along to?
Just like down the street, but like where the boar is, because I'm like, okay, there's my boar.
Alright, you go over to the boar. So you head across the street where the boar is and start talking to the boar and act like nothing's going on. They're like crazy tourists.
Are the guards gone?
They're in the area, but they're not standing where they were standing before, but they're still around.
He's talking to looks back to parents' house.
Do you follow the boar or let the boar walk home alone?
I grab the nearest person that looks rich and I pull them into a dark alleyway. And I grab them like by the mouth like I did sleep.
I mean, there are some rich merchants out late at night right now.
Let me just grab whoever I see first.
Alright, roll a C&B to grab someone.
15.
Alright, so you try to grab someone, but you're unable to, and they sort of like swing a cane at you.
And
They miss when they swing the cane at you, but they do swing in your direction when you try to grab them. And start calling for the guards.
okay, well I run away.
Alright, you run away. Where do you run to?
I just run down the street like for a couple blocks.
Alright, you run a couple blocks down the street. I assume Tiki Taka keeps up.
No, Tiki Taka would.
Oh, Tiki Taka's all the way back to Karam's house by now. It's at the front door waiting for someone to let Tiki Taka in.
So I roll perception to see if I notice it about the area I'm in now.
Yeah, go for it.
Tiki Taka's in the bush.
Like people that look like shady, like just like some shit I should get into, you know?
Yeah, go for it.
I got 7.
You don't see anything. It's not like the South Docks where this kind of stuff goes on all night long. Here in Northland, in the shopping district, things kind of seem to shut down once it gets dark. And there's just a bunch of guards in the streets. You don't see any sign of shady dealings. No signs of crime, really. If there is crime, it's well hidden here.
So I go back to Kim's house because I want to talk. I want to like say something.
Alright, the boar's waiting at the door. Do you open the door, get someone to knock on the door, get someone to open the door for you?
Yeah, I'll knock politely.
Tiki Taka looks real cute. Like,
You knock politely.
So I walk in the door and do I see Kiram?
Yeah, she's up in her room, so you can go to Karam's room if you like.
no, it's in the kitchen.
Oh, the kitchen, that's right, she's dyeing eggs and shit, or getting onion dye and things
I will
like
help
that.
her.
Yeah, I'm making paint.
Why not?
So I walk in the kitchen and I'm like, hey Kiram, I fucked up their window and I asked her to heal me. Give me some of that healing.
Give this man 10.
Alright, so she tries to bandage your wounds, but it doesn't regain any of your health or anything, but you are adequately bandaged up.
Cool. Is Kiram's dad still there?
He's still around, but he's probably in his study or in his bed by now.
How late is it?
It's like super late at this point.
I go to sleep.
Alright, you go into Karen's room and rest.
How did I do with my
Making paints.
Maybe survival skill to see how well you did.
I said I was helping her.
You helped?
I got a 7, so we just ended up with a pile of mush.
Alright, so yeah, you guys can have one other primary color of paint by the end of the night, but everything else came out crap.
I'll go with yellow. I used eggs.
Now you have yellow and red, so you can also make orange, so you got 3 colors now, so that's a good choice.
How many uses of yellow paint do I have now?
I'm gonna do blue.
We'll say 4 uses of it.
Alright,
Which color?
yellow.
I did blueberry, so blue.
Or you can do 2 of each if you want, so 4 total still.
Not true.
You get 2 yellows, 2 blues, and you guys all cuddle puddle in Karam's room again.
Yep, it's talk about the daytime.
Alright. You discuss your plans for tomorrow, how to find Bekefo, what to do for work, and how to sell drugs and stuff.
Cuddle up with my unicorn.
Stuffed unicorn doll.
Put on my onesie.
The board's been trying to he's wanting me to go back to the jewelry store, I feel something there, but I keep failing going to the jewelry store. That fucking door in lot.
check it out tomorrow.
So the boar has something with the jewelry store. I mean, that's the Kefo's boar.
Yeah, I don't know because I can't talk none good or anything.
You just don't speak Boer, which is not weird. A lot of people don't speak Boer.
Like, I don't speak anything. I barely speak common.
Yeah. Much less Boer.
But I think there's something about that jewelry store. Plus, I want to kill those dwarves.
Sounded like cousins.
How do you feel about this situation? How do you feel about killing these dwarves just because of the boar?
My
I
God
trust
is
the boar's
the
instincts at this
revenge.
point. I've seen the connection that the Kefo and the boar have.
I feel like
I
something's
hope.
going on. I'm not
She went
quick to
there.
jump to murder.
There's a bunch of guards.
Well, I am, and my goddess of revenge.
I think you guys are like diametrically opposed on how to handle situations every time.
Now, what if these dwarves
Come
kidnap the Kefo?
Or I'm down to investigate and then maybe even distract if necessary.
The slime boys will come help us. I will go there in the morning
We
and
need to
try to
figure out
talk.
what happened to
My
Alfred.
boy's
He should be back by now.
he's
Is he
back with nobody.
Yeah, he's back with nobody.
Oh, thank goodness.
He shows you the note and it's covered in loogies.
They spit on him.
So you should go wash up Alfred, but first bring me a hot chocolate.
I laugh at Alfred because I understand. Like, I get
It's
it.
initiation stuff, yeah.
I'll go talk to the slime boys in the morning to see if we can maybe get back up.
Alright, you guys make a plan for tomorrow.
They arise.
Eriku wants to talk to Karen for a moment. I mean, I don't care if anyone else cares. Whatever. I'm just going to talk.
Let's get right behind the stakes.
So, I think you look like you have some money. Yeah, you can't you?
Look around my
Clean up
room.
well.
You
Yeah.
can clean up. And when I was dealing with those dwarves, I mean, I got a low wisdom, but I got an idea.
Okay.
You can clean yourself up, and you could probably get in that shop, try to investigate what's going on with those dwarves that I want to murder. I gotta go to the market in the morning and try to make more money.
Whoa.
I gotta go talk to the slime boys. So.
I mean, it's late. We should go to sleep.
So you guys wake up the next day, exhausted from the previous day's activities, still worried about Bekefo, I'm sure.
You wonder where the Kefo is.
I know something. I was also blinded by rage, so I just really hyper-focused on getting revenge for my pride.
You know, you've only got a couple of hours until the market opens. Business picks up.
I'm gonna do a quick prayer to my goddess that that she brings blessings to our day.
And which goddess is yours?
Amade.
Alright.
It's Iomedea.
Alright.
I don't know how to say that, so.
So to be at the market when the sun is up, she will guarantee that the light shines on you and that, people see your work. Just be sure that if you want people to see what you're doing, make sure what you're doing is good.
Notice this Kieran praying, and I also pray to my goddess Calistria, the wasp goddess of healing and revenge. Alright, I want Kieran to, we're friends now, so I want to impress you.
Pretty impressed.
Alright, so you're just like doing a prayer only for the sole purpose of being like, I'm religious too. That might be a bluff check if you're just doing a religious prayer to impress someone else.
No, it's genuine because Kieran and I have spent so much time together. I've become more religious. It's genuine.
Okay, well then maybe just religion or diplomacy with your god.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah, you prayed. You get something out of it.
A 9.
It goes 9.
The only vengeance you're concerned with right now is your friend Bekefo, but you gain no insight on that. You just, during your prayer, are drawn back to thoughts of Bekefo.
It echoes in my mind.
Yeah, and plus you still have this hog who wants to do drugs with you, and you also want to do drugs. And it's her hog, and the pang that you feel, the desire to do Pesh, and the fact you have to take care of her hog since she's not around to do it. You had to walk it 3 times last night. You had to keep getting up. Kept wanting to go back to that jewelry store, but you had to say no, just quick biddles and back inside.
I wanted to keep going back to that jewelry store, actually.
Yeah, you really did, but the guards were out heavy last night. It's not like your part of town where there aren't a whole lot of guards.
We gotta give Eriku her hit. Now, what you do with that is up to you.
Yeah, okay, so
If
you're
the
gonna.
boar still needs it, I don't know if you're still trying to kick the habit, but the boar still needs it anyway.
I am still
So we
trying
got
to
the
kick the
7
habit.
passion 10.
Yeah, I had one day where I just
Yeah.
got
So you can try to fight it again today if you want. You just have to roll the fortitude save. And Tiki Taka can do that as well.
I got 18.
got 11.
Yeah, it's got to be to 20, so if you don't beat 20, then you do want to smoke today. You can still try to fight it, but you're going to take negatives instead of taking the other effects of it.
So I can't just get through it anyway.
You can, but you'll take a negative, and so if you decide not to do the drug, you will take 1d2 con damage and 1d2 wisdom damage every day until you break your addiction. She has to have 2 fortitude saves in a row, like 2 days in a row where she succeeds in not wanting to do it.
Well, I'll do the pesh.
Alright, do the pesh, and you'll share it with the hog, of course. If someone's got to blow in the hog's face.
I blow the pesh in the hog's face.
Either that, or the hog eats it, and you have to waste a whole dose on a hog.
Why did I roll an 18 for Tiki Taka?
For the same thing, but 18's not high enough either, so you're still also addicted.
Copy.
And the pig does not have the self-restraint to not want it. So even if the pig can't like really quit on its own, it has to just roll naturally 2 days in a row. Instead of getting hurt, you guys now, for 1 hour, get a 1d2 bonus to strength for an hour. So roll your d2.
I got 2. What does that mean?
So you get a +2 temporary bonus to your strength total, which gives you a +1 to your mod usually. But you take a -2 on illusions and mind effects for the next hour. Whenever that hour is over, you're fatigued for 1d2 hours.
Tiki Taka got 1.
But that'll last for an hour, so for an hour you're really strong, but you're kind of tripping. So you guys are sort of tripping, sort of seeing things. You have mild hallucinations on your own. So you guys are enjoying this little breakfast period at Karam's house. So you're still up in her room, but you guys get lit first thing in the morning.
Can I get lit and paint?
Yeah, you can paint while you're still all jacked up on Pesh.
I want to get to the market early when it opens. What time is it?
I'll go with you.
Well, you have no real way of telling the time from here in Karam's room, but you assume you have an hour or two to get there before the crowds start really picking up. The sun's about to come up.
Okay, well, in that, like, half of that amount of time, or a little bit of that time, I want to spend some time painting my big painting on my canvas. Like, I want to make it nicer. So I got 21.
Above average work you're doing now, so you did a good couple hours of work here. It's really good. It's improved that much, which is a lot.
Yeah, so I'm taking my really good painting to the market.
Carefully carry your drying one painting down to the market. Karam, do you follow?
Yeah.
I'll go with him as well.
Arog follows as well. Do you bring the board, or do you lock the board up in the room?
The board's patched up, tripping behind them.
The boar can, like, do its own thing. It's a free boar.
Alright, so if it wants to follow you, it can. If it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
So everyone else is going to the market. Board, do you follow them to the market?
Yeah, it's tripping behind them.
Alright, you're following to the market. You're passing near the jewelry store.
I nod at myself.
If I notice anything with my perception,
You may.
I notice a 14.
So it's not great, but you see, it looks like 2 young guys in like messy uniforms scraping off the graffiti you've done. See some workmen repairing the door. You see a pretty heavy guard presence around the place now. It seems under scrutiny as you pass.
I walk by real casual, like, smiling at myself.
They're asking people questions in the neighborhood.
I don't even hesitate. I just go straight for the market. I'm on my own business.
You guys just whistle and walk by.
Innocent.
It's one quick glance at the crime scene, and then over to the market. See what happens on your way there. I rolled high enough that you are approached by several guards as you enter the market who want to ask you a couple questions.
Sure. What's up?
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
Karen.
they ask what exactly it is that you're selling.
My friend here is selling some art. She's pretty good. Would you like to see some of her stuff?
They ask to take a look at something.
I showed them my really great canvas painting I improved on earlier with a 21.
The board keeps on walking towards the market.
He's gonna say, "What's something like this worth?"
I smile, my barbarian smile, and I say it'd be really great to get like 500 gold because I worked really hard on it and my eyes sparkle.
Nah, that's worth 550. I watched you that.
I blush.
Roll me some diplomacies, you two.
I got 6.
I got 21. Woo woo!
All right. So the guard looks to Karam and says, "How about we pay you half?"
How about 350?
Diplomacy.
Yeah,
24.
He's gonna smirk and say, "That's pretty steep. I don't know." He says, That's no wonder you can afford that table rent, I guess." He'll laugh and say, "I tell you what. I need something special. I'll go for it." He gives you the gold, takes the painting before you can even make it to the market.
Nice.
He says, "Just make sure you guys keep a clean booth over there. No funny business."
I say it, of course.
All right.
Thank you.
The guards keep walking and checking other tables and stalls as you approach your booth. Now empty-handed.
You want to hold that or you want me to hold it? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Careful with that.
make sure that goes. We're going to put that towards our making that 2,000 back.
So I take out one of my shitty papers and I paint on it in my blue paint because blue is very like calming.
I'm proud of you for selling that painting, by the
Thank you. I am winking here. And I paint on the sign portraits, 20 gold.
Alright, so you use one of your papers to make a sign
Mm-hmm.
to advertise your live portrait business.
Yes.
Alright, you sit there at the booth with no examples of your work.
I would like to start using my last nice piece of paper to paint
Hey, while you wait for customers.
how I'm feeling. Like, I'll paint the market. I'll do like a plein air painting of the market.
She needs more paper to portraits.
And
Yeah, quite a few.
I'm using all my colors. I got yellow and blue and red.
One of your first multicolor pieces. This is exciting. Alright, so you're just capturing.
Yes, I even have green.
Yeah.
Because I can mix colors.
And you're really lucky. Your spot in the market today just seems to have really nice light. Today, it's just the lighting is super great for painting, so this painting's gonna look great.
I'm glowing.
Yeah. A small crowd starts to gather to watch you paint because you have it's the light shining right here and it seems to be drawing attention. It's not a very large crowd, but like 3 people at first stop and watch you, and then one more, and then one more, and soon there's 5 or 6 people around. A small crowd, but more than you guys are probably used to. But they're all watching you paint this scene.
One's interested in portraits, come see me.
Is that a diplomacy check from Karam? Arog stands by the table with arms crossed. Just, don't short us.
Making trouble for the
Yeah.
artists.
18.
Every painter needs a bouncer.
That's true.
The crowd seems pretty sheepish. You're being very friendly, and but no one seems eager to take up this portrait deal yet.
I also paint on that paper sign missions. We'll talk about it.
All right, yeah, I'll let you add that to your sign. Really small beneath the portraits, 20 gold.
Draw the crowd in. I don't smile. I just act as not scary as possible.
Yeah. Plus, you're doing all this with one arm, which is impressive.
Yeah, I'm like
That alone, you got like a gimmick.
How many more pieces of paper you got?
One's in use, and so I have 2 pieces of shitty paper left. I still have.
She's been doing
Yeah.
a few things.
Oh no, I have 3 shitty pieces of paper, and I'm painting a
Yeah,
canvas.
Wanna go shop for the paper ones and grab
It's an Arog and a paper run.
Sure. Yeah, you do need some more. How much? I can't remember what the prices were there. So just give me some gold and I'll go talk to the shop.
some of that paper?
I give you 100 gold of the gold I made earlier to go buy more art.
Alright, I take the money and I head over to the paper store to buy some paper.
All right, you head over to the paper store where they sell locally made, locally sourced papers and paper products, and some imported paper products.
What's the name of this paper company?
Flat shit.
Flash it.
Flash shit!
Flat shit.
I approach one of the workers and ask them what they have for. What do you got? What kind of paper you got?
They have some 10 gold a sheet mid-grade papers right now, locally sourced. They have some 90 gold high-grade dark papers. And they have some 50-50 blend papers. They're sort of a fabric paper blend, sort of a canvas for 50 gold.
So canvas and mid-range gold paper. That's all we can really
So
afford.
you can give me 5 mid-grade papers and a canvas.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, you hand over your gold, you get your supplies, and head back to the booth. That's pretty simple adventure. Nothing else happens. Roll a perception check on your way back from paper store.
I got a 5.
All right. Yeah, you don't notice anything on your way back. Head in the clouds, whistling a tune.
We got a little bit of money and a good bit of drugs left.
And Eriku's painting away.
Well, we'll probably be making more money after, if we make that 2,000 back and that guy's like, oh, guys can.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Well, yeah.
Basically, if you pull this off, you can Shark Tank it with that guy and just give him an idea and see if he'll throw more money at you.
So I want to be like focusing at the crowd right now. Tell them, don't be shy. Come check out some portrait action.
Portrait action.
Portrait action. I like it. Give me a diplomacy with portrait action.
15.
Crowd's pretty friendly. It didn't roll high enough that anyone really wants to get their portrait painted, but they do seem interested and the crowd is growing.
I paint with all my heart.
Alright.
I give you back, give you the paper. Set it near you, so it's yours now. 1 canvas, 5 mid-grade paper.
By the time Arog has gotten back, the crowd has grown to 40 people in size.
Whoa!
Just watching you paint.
20 miles
Should I volunteer myself? You do a portrait of me, and then so the crowd knows what's up.
Am I done with my painting that I was doing?
Yeah.
Roll me your craft to see how well you did at it, then you can tell me if you're done or not. Tell me how you feel about it.
I rolled a 10, so I need to keep working on it.
Yeah, 10's pretty average.
But I do it my.
It's about halfway done by your perception, yeah.
It takes me longer because I have one arm.
That would probably go under.
I'll do that.
That'd be performer acrobatics if you want to do a hip hop dance.
Yeah.
Oh, I have acrobatics.
I
Can I do like agile painting?
Yeah.
Like do.
You can roll me an acrobatics while you're painting to make it look to like do flips and stuff, make it look impressive, to make it the very big gestures.
I got a 18.
Yeah, you'll flow yourself around a lot and do some cool tricks while you paint. You'll make it entertaining. Now that you've got a big crowd, you're not just painting, you're showing off.
I'm gonna dance out in front of the stand as well.
Alright. You got a hype man. Do you want to perform with yours, or you're also acroing?
Yeah, do some
Or diplomacy? Yeah, you can do anything. Just let me know what you're doing.
I got a 13 for my acrobatics.
Arog jumps out there. His acrobatics aren't as impressive as yours, but they're above average, slightly. Maybe yours just look more impressive because you got one arm. You're not even painting while you do it.
Brushing my mouth and painting with it as I like.
Like, as you flip, yeah. I love it. This is like the coolest painting show. No wonder 40 people have crowded around. I'll say because of that comment alone, the crowd grows to 80 people in size. It doubles in size because you start putting the paintbrush in your mouth and the word starts to travel that you're doing this cool trick painting. Yeah, does someone want to roll a diplomacy check? Try to get someone to get a portrait or something?
Yeah.
Please do.
And
Diplomacy?
yeah, there you go.
Perhaps I have much luck still. The crowd just seems to want to watch and not spend any money. The crowd seems to be moving around behind them, going to other shops to do their shopping. It seems to be treating you guys more of an act. They're not paying for the act.
I
I'm gonna
see.
drop you one somehow.
If my painting's done.
Yeah, you can roll another profession or craft check to see if it's done.
I'm gonna see if it's done. I don't have a hat.
Yeah.
I got a 19.
So it's improved that much. It's pretty. I would say that's near done. It's near perfect at this point.
I finished it off with a cool move. I used my acrobatics for that really cool finishing move.
All right, roll me an acrobatics for a cool finishing move.
It's like a fatality in Mortal Kombat. It's barbarian. 20.
They clap. The crowd starts to disperse. Roll me diplomacy, Eriku, to see if you can get anyone to come up after your show.
I got a 5.
It was really impressive, but you can be kind of scary and imposing. You kind of get that.
Come on, guys, don't walk away. Come back, come back.
Yeah, you can try that.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Okay.
She does portraits, 20 gold.
I'm taking 5.
As the crowd breaks up, you try one last appeal.
I got a 9.
5.
Natural 1.
Oh, yeah. Crowd definitely is really getting as far from you guys as possible now the show's over. They like blend back in with the rest of the crowd moving around. During all this time, it's now been about 6 hours of the day. What's Tiki Taka been doing? Just hanging out at the market, staring at these guys, waiting to figure out what's going on? Or you take matters into your own hands?
Just like taking a pet nap. Can I see if anyone is interested in buying, like, can I see what's up with the cafe?
So at this point in the day, Eriku and the hog are both probably very fatigued. But meanwhile, Bakefo, the gym, is for sale in a shop window.
Looking pretty as fuck in the sunny ass window.
Yeah. Glistening. Glistening. You look great. You look like a finely carved gemstone.
You went through so much to do that.
I look so much. Can I detect magic?
You can. We'll detect after a few moments there. Magic in some of the other gems around you. Some of the other jewelry here does have magical properties.
Okay.
And you'll also sense the approaching presence of a creature.
Cool. Who is it? I wonder. Can I perception roll? I don't perceive shit. I got 5.
It's very disorienting being inside of a rock. Like I said, you don't have eyes, so you kind of only sense energy, and it's not an energy you're familiar with. But it's definitely a living creature approaching you because it's moving, and it's not has that living creature kind of energy. Next thing you know, I need you to do a will contest.
Yeah! I got 6.
All right, 16. Oh, unfortunately, you do not take over the body, but you do now feel yourself pressed up against this other being, this other energy.
Can I use my perception again?
You may.
12. Hanging out.
Yeah.
Being a rock.
Something about it, but you're not sure. There's definitely a reason you wanted to think about it twice, but you can't quite place it. But as far as you can tell, you're moving around now. The feelings around you are changing. So you're moving about the city as far as you can tell.
I'm outside the shop.
You feel like you've left the shop. Yeah, the magical energy around you is dissipated.
I would like to tell Tiki Taka to keep tabs on me.
Alright, do you want Tiki Taka to come, snorting you out right now to figure out where you are?
Yeah, but just in a spy way. You don't have to get caught or anything.
During the part of the day while you guys are running the shop, Tiki Taka sneaks off. Roll me a stealth check for Tiki Taka to sneak off and to stay hidden whenever he sneaks off to spy on whoever has the necklace.
16.
So your allies, or friends of your owner were too busy doing their marketplace stuff to notice you leave. I rolled just low enough that the folks on that side of town don't notice you kind of wandering around alone, or else someone might have snatched you up and taken you home for dinner. But you,
I got armor on.
yeah,
Obviously,
you already belong to somebody. And you're able to keep it up to yourself or blend in with the crowd enough that you must have looked like someone's pet enough that you evaded suspicion.
Blank, bitches.
And you do spot with a perception check above 15 if you can roll that.
Perception! I got 18.
You do spot the Bakefo crystal, all shiny and new, bound about some woman's neck. Roll a knowledge history check for your boar.
I got scent. I'm gonna follow them.
You do
I
that.
got 15 for
You can follow her. Roll me a history though as well.
3.
I'm not a smart pig, but he'll follow the lady. You want to follow her, but she goes back to her home. You want to roll a perception check when she arrives at her home? Tiki Taka.
Oh, well, that's a 4.
Yep, just following a lady. She's going into her house. Do you want to try to follow her in?
No, chill out in the bush.
I rolled high enough that there is a bush.
Hell yeah! Hide in the bush by her fucking gate, yo.
Alright, you hide in the bush.
I take a nap.
Alright, take a Tiki Taka nap. Probably comes from your pesh, because you still hadn't done so. At this point in time, you take a pesh nap for real. Fall asleep in a bush. After a pretty long day at the market, the rest of the gang is getting tired and doesn't know where Tiki Taka is, doesn't know where Bakefo is, but is heading back from the market after a long day, I assume. Do you guys want to go out drinking again or something, or?
I think it would be a good idea to go to the bar and try to sell drugs.
That's exactly what I was about to suggest.
So like drink and like pal around,
Yeah.
but also do business.
Yeah.
And so you guys go to the bar after work?
We'd like to find a tavern, yes.
Yeah, you guys have been in the tavern in this part of town before. You guys, this was one of the first places you all hung out together, so you can go back there again if you like.
Alright, yeah, let's go back there.
Your favorite tavern.
Oh yeah, I was gonna try
Walking
to
to
do
the
like.
bar.
It's like here's everyone knows our name. And now my name is out there, right? Like people know or start like I got a big crowd going at the market.
Yeah, I think that's at least the people in the market, there's some buzz about you. It's not going to be a whole lot of people, but a couple of people will be like, hey, you know, they know you from your booth, and you'll get some recognition, more than you're probably used to.
Yeah.
More than 0% recognition. After market hour, so it's a lot of marketplace workers, things like that. Did you guys all roll me perception checks?
I should have gotten a 3.
19.
Eriku will spot someone familiar. Sleeve.
I confront him immediately.
Alright, you go up to Sleeve having a drink. He's up at the bar. What do you say? What do you do?
I hang back.
I'm gonna like work my way around the bar to behind the sleeve.
I order a drink right next to him, and I look right at him, and I'm like, "What's up? You want a drink?"
He nods playing and says, sure. Who are
I
you?
order us both a drink.
He says, thanks, stranger.
What's your name, stranger?
Sleeve.
I'm like, cool. My name's Eriku. How's your day going?
Just fine and dandy, I guess.
Ooh, can I do while she's doing this? I know there's sleeve too, right?
I think you saw who she walked up to, yeah, and you had the next highest perception.
Okay, so I want to detect evil.
You do not detect evil in this sleeve.
That's legit.
Maybe it was the last sleeve was evil sleeve.
Evil. Well, good. And so, like, I just hang out at the bar. I order Karen a drink too. How much are drinks?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to her.
Right now they're corking bottles of fine liqueur for 6, bottles of shelf liqueur for 4, and they're doing 6 gold, 6 pint specials.
I order pints for Kieran, sleeve. This counts as the one I already mentioned. And Ego. So that's.
Take my drink.
He's doing the 6 for 6 gold deal. Makes it
I walk
easy.
up to her and kind of whisper in her ear, like, I do not detect this version of sleeve to be evil. Can I do sense motive?
You can do sense motive for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull right next to him.
So you walk up, whisper in Eriku's ear, and then kind of glance over at this new sleeve. You know he's not evil, but
Yeah,
you
so
still get a glance at him to see how you feel.
I got
You're not sure.
10. Guys, I'm not sure if he's good.
Like I said, you know he's not evil, but beyond that, you can't really tell a whole lot about him.
I have no idea what is his deal. What is his deal?
I try to sense things.
Deal is ambiguous. You can sense motive, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone can sense motive.
I
That's
don't
just,
have sense motive, but I'm gonna do it.
yeah, that's just like gut. That's just gut feelings.
I'm looking the sleeve in the eye. I got a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel just about the same as Karam, but with two words. You're not really sure what sleeve. Sleeve, something different about sleeve for sure, but you're not sure what it is.
I'm gonna straight up say, hey, I'm pretty sure I've seen someone like that looks kind of like you before. Do you have a brother?
No, I don't think so.
Did he say
Brother, do I know you?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm just.
This is moving kind of fast.
You look so familiar, and I'm pretty sure. Are you
I mean, I work over in the Purple District.
the Purple District?
I run things over there. I'm sure you just saw me over there or something.
Run things over there.
I'm a very important guy.
Oh, did we start off with the purple or the red
Yeah,
district?
no,
We
this
started
is
off with the
purple. Purple's the ones that we got my favorite.
Do I hear?
Yeah, you're still close enough to hear all this. And Arag is probably nearby as well, unless he says otherwise.
I was sitting on the other side of Sleep. We got him boxed in.
Alright, you got him boxed in, so you're all probably hearing all this if you want to hear it.
Yeah, I do want to hear it.
Yeah.
You have to do worse than a 10 to not hear stuff going on right in front of your face, so...
So I asked Slave, I'm like, so what do you like to do for fun?
You're looking at it, and he holds up his glass of ale.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, Sleeve.
Yeah, y'all have a drink together. Really nice to meet you guys, you're pretty friendly.
I asked him if he's lived around here long.
Yeah, I guess so.
I pat him on the back and I'm like, why are you so nervous?
I don't know, people don't usually talk to me this much.
You seem pretty interesting, though. I mean, like, you work in the Purple District, too. That's pretty impressive.
Tell us a little bit about your job.
I don't know, it just kind of fell into my lap, I guess. I just collect the money.
Did your dad do it before you? And is that how you got the job?
No. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, shit. Can I sense motive again?
Yeah, of course.
I want to send Steve's motive, too.
Me too.
Do it. You can all roll sense motive.
I got a 23.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious at this point something's up with this guy. He's hiding something, obfuscating something. Keeps changing his answers. He seems nervous. I think it's easy to say as a paladin he's hiding something.
I'm very bold. Do I know? Tell me that he's hiding something.
Holy hiding.
Yeah.
You say that out loud?
I'm real bold about it. I'm like, are you hiding something?
Thanks for the drink, guys. I think I'm gonna leave. This is getting really weird. He puts down his drink and slides a tip over to the bartender and waves goodbye.
I put my one arm around him to not leave, but in a friendly manner.
Alright, that might be a diplomacy.
16.
He kind of brushes your arm away and says, "No, I really think I should be going.
I tell him, see you later.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you."
Bye.
Sleeve wave goodbye as he leaves the bar.
I'm gonna wink at you guys, and then I'm gonna stick by the bar for a moment.
I slink away.
I'm going to down my drink and
Be careful. Be safe.
I stealthily exit the bar.
We exit together, but not together because we're being stealthy.
We're being stealthy.
Alright. So roll stealth checks to sneak out after Sleeve.
I'm gonna finish my beer at the bar. What I get? 3.
Oh no! 3.
So you're obviously drawing attention to yourself. You leave. Aragog is able to sneak out, but you kind of like burst out behind him and draw attention to yourself. Not that it matters because the time you guys burst out the door, he's fleeing east of
I
here,
just went after him.
darting through some streets. Pretty agile.
I am also agile. I use my acrobatics.
Yeah, he was more agile than he looks, but you guys chase after him if you would like.
Grab the sleeve.
Need a constitution to keep up.
9.
I got a 14.
Alright, so he's pretty fast and he can run for a pretty long distance without getting tired. Eriku's already pretty exhausted from her day, but she still outlasts Arag.
I
Who's
go
more of
into a barbarian rage.
That helps a little bit, because you really want to catch this guy. Arag has trouble keeping up, because he's more of a standstill and fight guy than a chase after people kind of a guy. Yeah. He's like, you bring the fight to me, you know?
Yeah. I don't have time to chase the fight.
Yeah. If you're running away, that means I won. That's the end of the fight, you know? That's your philosophy. But Eriku tries to keep up, but is unable to. She goes into a rage. But this guy disappears into an alley. Roll a perception check.
I got 5.
I got 2, even worse than
Yeah,
my
Arag goes even farther behind than you were, but when you go around the alley, he seems to have vanished. And Arag, when he gets there, will see the same thing, where you don't know where. You guys look all around, you look up, you look down, you even try to climb up on the roof. One of you boosts the other one up, you don't see anyone moving around there, you don't hear anything. He just appears to be gone.
Oh.
Can I look around for any kind of trap door or anything that you might have used to escape?
You may.
Dungeoneering
That'd be knowledge
Yeah,
dungeoneering.
knowledge.
That'd be dungeoneering knowledge, that would work for that.
15.
Alright, you don't notice anything. I mean, you do notice that there's a lot of stonework in this part of town. A lot of very large stone slabs in the streets, unlike where a lot of the other parts of town it's smaller stone slabs. They're like cobblestone. This is near the northern wall. Here the streets sort of like mirror the wall because they're bigger slabs.
In my rage, I recall back aloud to how the black swans travel through stones.
Can we look around for any of those markings we saw on the stones?
Yeah.
and woods?
Yeah, you can roll a perception check to look for those specifically now that you've thought about it.
Natural 20.
Nat 20.
Yeah, now you thought about it and rolled natural 20, you spot the marking on one of the rocks.
Alright.
Probably near around the spot where he vanished.
I would like to just really make a note of where this is. It's about right here. Like pretty much on the wall.
Yep, right around the northern edge of the wall there in Northland, just a little bit west of the road.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Last one.
Can I perceive if Steve had any kind of tattoos that resembled the Black Swan tattoo that other guy had?
He was mostly covered and you didn't see any. I mean, he wasn't on his face or anything, and most of the rest of his body was covered.
So I'm really mad because I thought I got revenge on Sleeve, but in my mind, I did not.
This is either him and he's back to life, or it's someone else impersonating him, or something. You definitely know at this point something's up.
We know where that is now.
Alright, so you guys had a drink at the bar, you've chased a guy down an alleyway.
I stomped back to the bar.
Alright.
I want to talk to the bartender.
Alright, you guys go back to the bar and approach the bartender.
On my way
Have
back,
a busy
I want to
night.
see if I see anybody who might be interested in buying some drugs.
Yeah.
Alright, that's a perception check maybe, or knowledge local, or whatever
I'll
you
go
think.
perception.
Can I also perceive?
You may.
Look for somebody who looks like a drug user.
I got 13.
I got a 10.
Yeah, you guys see a lot of people around, but it's hard to pick out on this side of town, like, who's a pest user, you know what I mean? The effects are pretty short-lived, so it's hard to tell.
I try to project a demeanor of drug selling to the crowd, just to
What
see.
you do is, like, say, drugs. Hey, drugs. Drugs.
Like, I try to get the crowd to get what I'm laying down. I try to get them to pick it up.
Alright, what is that, a diplomacy maybe, or linguistics, or bluff, or something to try to, like, conceal your message while saying something else?
Get a 12, because there's...
Yeah, you seem to be bothering people in the street, and you'll notice now there's like a very slight guard presence now that the market's kind of closed. There's been picked up a number of guards in the street.
I play it cool.
Yeah, it's time to play cool now. Stop this drug talk.
Did my best. I whispered to Ego, I did my
We
best.
both tried.
Yeah, that's all you can do in the game of life.
You can see some drug users in the bar.
Yeah.
I try to pick up on slime doings near me. Do I see any slime boys? Do I see any sick,
You
like,
can roll a
signs?
perception or a knowledge local to see what you know about slime boys being around here. 6 total?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot. You know that there are some slime boys that do work up here. A lot of it's like very part-time menial labor, so it's hard to know where they're going to be at any point in time. It's a lot of time cleanup crews, trash pickup, things like that. You don't see any right now.
Can I talk to the bartender?
Alright, that's pretty easy to do. Bartenders are, pretty approachable and want to talk to you, especially if you're buying drinks.
Hey, good sir. May I ask you a question?
Sure thing. What can I do for you, fella?
Is there a way I can get a hunting license around here?
Well, yeah, of course. We're not here per se at the bar. It's not something we do, but
Well, yeah. I just would like to know what direction I need to go.
I believe that's a Hunters Guild up in the Co-op. It's that northeastern part of town, just above High East. It's so weird they call it High East, but then the part of it above it's called the Co-op.
Does it cost me money to get this license?
Well, hell yeah, it does. Ain't nothing free in the donks.
And I slide over 2 gold.
About this point in time, your allies will arrive back at the bar,
Go hang out.
empty-handed.
I pray when I get back to my bar, to my goddess, mostly about revenge.
Always keep an enemies list.
I'm mad. I'm still in a rage.
Don't be mad. Tune in next time for more The Other Dungeon.
This episode of Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater was sponsored by our fans and friends on Patreon. Donate today. Keep Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater alive.